Welcome to Thursday, August 3rd, 2023, your Day Weather Podcast, brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Well, as we have been talking about all week, it's been the same story, and really today's no different. The slow drifting north of the deeper moisture is kind of the new wrinkle that's coming into the forecast here for later the week and into the weekend. The deep moisture, though, is slow to move. So a lot of you who have been picking up very heavy rain and shower and thunderstorm activity, the chances are there again today. But the more northward shift will mean less in the way in Colorado and the Four Corners area in the southwestern United States. But for you folks in central and northern Wyoming, up into southern Montana, parts of Nebraska and South Dakota, and parts of Idaho, you're going to be looking at more in the way of rain with this moisture drifting north. There is a severe weather threat today. There's a few more elements, stronger winds aloft, a few things that may make western Nebraska and far eastern Wyoming, eastern Colorado, and northwest Kansas an area of severe weather today. We'll show you that. There's that northward shift, going to cool off in many areas along and near the divide, especially east of the divide. Really starts tomorrow, but through the weekend, Sunday and Monday in particular, temperatures will be far below average in some locations and probably continue damp in those areas that are going to be cool. Yesterday afternoon in southeastern Wyoming, we had a squall line form that produced some very heavy rain across parts of southeastern Wyoming, and then overnight, the showers and thunderstorms continued. A lot of photos came in of a shelf cloud. A shelf cloud will develop right along a squall line. A squall line is basically a line of thunderstorms. And some great shots came on in as that squall line and that shelf cloud approached. Very ominous, scary looking clouds. You'll get a lot of horizontal rotation in those clouds as you'll have a big burst of wind just ahead of that squall line, which is what we saw before the really heavy rain came in. And this one takes the cake. Meteorologist Mark Hewer got this shot east of Cheyenne. So you can see how well formed that shelf cloud was. And then underneath that rain shaft, many areas about an inch or more than an inch of rain and localized flooding again with that thunderstorm as it moved across Laramie County in southeastern Wyoming. Then, of course, nice rainbows thereafter, this one coming out of Alliance, Nebraska. We'll have more shots like this today as the monsoonal moisture is continuing to be about where it's been. You can see the drier air is poking more up out of the desert states, but it's a really slow process. This monsoon axis right here is still just very dominant. And there you can see it on the precipitable water forecast. Drier air is trying to finger into parts of southern Colorado in the Four Corners area, but it's going to be in the green and blue areas where the action is going to be again today. And this is where the thunderstorms are going to be most numerous. Notice there's a bit of an eastward shift. So there's going to be an area really from Canada all the way down to here where there's going to be a lot of severe weather today. And unfortunately, there's going to be that risk of hail, possibly tornado activity, heavy rain, strong wind gusts in this enhanced area right here. So there's going to be some nastiness later this afternoon and this evening with the thunderstorms really ramping up. So that's an area to watch out for. Put the car in the garage. Now, as we get into tomorrow, that axis of moisture a little bit more north, getting up into northern Wyoming from eastern Oregon through Idaho up into Montana, then into the Dakotas now. And that axis of deeper moisture will produce not only thunderstorms, but just plain Jane rain. Just light to moderate rain forming along that axis. And this is Saturday. It kind of stays there while drier and drier air comes into the desert southwest, California, and the Great Basin. As we get into the forecasted precipitation amounts, again, this is just a guide. You want to look at the brighter areas where the bigger concentration of rain may be. This is from today through early Saturday morning. So you can see that shift northward there into western North Dakota and South Dakota and across northern Wyoming and Montana of that heavier rain. This area right here is likely due to the severe weather that is likely going to form in this location this afternoon and evening. So that's through Saturday morning. And that drier air punch really limiting showers and thunderstorms here west of the divide. This is for the next 48-hour period through Saturday, during the day, Sunday, and you can see same areas are going to be getting affected, but more northern areas. But along the Front Range, we're still going to be looking at humidity, enough of it, while it won't be as deep, to continue with the afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms east of the divide. And that's one thing that's going to lead to the coolness. Now, if you take a look at it a little bit more focused into the whole period from today, this is from today through 6 p.m. on Monday, you can see that heavier moisture across western South Dakota, northern Wyoming, and southern Montana. This does include Jackson, eastern Idaho, gets up into the Bighorn Basin along the Interstate 90 corridor. The I-90 corridor, kind of the best way to describe where that heavier rain focus is likely going to be with that northward shift. By Sunday, as we showed you yesterday, the high retreats back to Arizona. That is going to take the heat back into those areas, but the jet stream is also really getting more active. And this area of low pressure, this other area right here, will drag in some cooler air in from the northwest, and hence we really start to see a cool down. These are the temperature anomalies for late Saturday. So you can see across the northern tier, very cool, blistering hot down here. Really a big contrast. You know, Interstate 70, north of I-70, you're going to say it feels like fall. South of I-70, you're going to say make the heat stop. And basically, that's the same forecast for Monday. And across the northeastern parts of Wyoming, western South Dakota there, look at these temperatures on Monday. This is by noon Monday. Gillette, 61 degrees, 60s and 70s elsewhere, you know, even down into Denver. To be on August 7th and only be in the low to mid 70s, that's very, very cool for August. And one reason for that is not only the cooler air, but there'll be upslope. So there'll be clouds, there'll be a continued chance for showers and thunderstorms, so there's more rain coming. Have yourself a good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.